Hey, what up, everybody? Let's continue our basic slides. This will be part two. Today, we're just going to talk about shapes and text. That is just as exciting as it sounds. Um, okay, let's hop into it here. I use shapes um, to build everything on top of, or most everything on top of. Okay, so insert shape, shapes, rectangle. You can also just come up here and hit shape, shapes, rectangle. Okay, now I'm essentially making a new border here, so I try to make sure that my shape is equidistant on all sides. Okay, we can throw a border color on here. I guess black's kind of stupid. Um, Here's what I'll do. I'll go grab this real quick. Okay, and then our border size. Yep, 4 looks all right. But today 8 looks better. All right. Shapes, not all that difficult. You have a couple things you can do with it. Actually, you can't really see what we're getting ready to do if I don't throw a lighter background on. So that's what I'll do. Here, get this one. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my 3 dots. If you can't see format options, that's where you'll see it. Format options, and then I'm going to click on drop shadow. It's just a little something you can do to add depth to your slide. You do you with all this, but I for this stuff I usually default to around 50, transparency 0, angle 50, and then 5 and 5 for distance and blur radius. Okay, again, it just adds a little depth. I bet if I back this off, it looks a little better. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there's a shape that allows you to have fun backgrounds that are darker and then build on top of them, which I like to do. Okay, your fill options are quite a bit like for the background, right? You can throw in your solid colors, you can just throw in your gradients. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty much just like doing backgrounds, just with fewer options. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about text. So, insert text box. All right. Now, here are some things, and maybe I'll sound like a crazy person. I don't know. But we're going to make a text box. And we'll see what I say over here. What do I say? Boxes, font, structure. Okay. Whenever I'm teaching kids how to use slides or any presentation, any slideshow software, I always tell them you get 2 fonts. You get an accent font, like your fancy, fun title font or header font. Still needs to be something you can read, but it can be the fun thing with some personality. You get a second font, and that's just your regular, people need to read this text font. I don't have much of an opinion if it's a serif or a sans serif. You do what you want to do. Sometimes you can choose one accent font that works for both in a way that's not so bad. Like this is readable and fun, but it's not crazy. But no more than 2 is usually what I suggest. Now, if you go up here to your fonts, if you scroll around for fun, you'll probably see, if you haven't done this before, that there aren't that many to pick from automatically. But if you click on more fonts, you'll see that Google has a bunch of them that you can use. if you're looking for fonts that are kind of more fun or whatever, if you go to show all fonts here and you click really display and handwriting, will give you those ones with a little bit more personality. We'll go through here and I'll just add something that I don't have. I actually like that one. I'm surprised it's not in there. But you can see all you do is when you see one that you like or you might like, just click on it and then it will add it to that drop down menu to choose from. Okay, I'm not that big on that, but just for the sake of explaining it. Actually, I see this one quite a bit these days. I see it all over the place. Good old Omatic. Okay, we did it. So when I just X out, they're going to be in there now. So let's do that. Whichever one's first. Omatic, that's fine. All right, this is my slide. Let's make it bigger. Yeah, look at you go. Okay. What I might do sometimes, just grab this and sort of make a little title spot at the top. All right. Then if I want to, I can just copy the shape. That's Control-C, Control-V for you shortcut fans. And then just drop this down here. Sweet. Okay. So you'll see here, I say invisible borders. Here's what I'm talking about. On the inside of a shape, there is also a border around your text. If I was to do something like this, not really respecting a border there, right? Even though there's not a solid line, like you still have a border for your text. And you can see there that there is this sort of clean, invisible border around it. Most people I don't think, adhere to that sort of thing, but you can tell a difference when people do, for sure. Okay. As far as like placing your text, you've got your regular word processing options. So I'm going to click on the three dots here and you can see I have left, center, right, justify, top, middle, and then bottom of the actual text box. Didn't do much there, but you can see, I mean, you know how this works. Should be old news, I'm sure. Okay. I'm going to put in a new text box since I'm going to do a different font. I may as well not copy the same one. And you can even get working on that invisible font when you put it in there, right? Like if I'm work on making it equidistant right now, chances are it's going to look fine. I'm going to put a serif in there. I really like average. I think it's pretty classy. Okay. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, check it out. Okay. I'm not sure why. Maybe I put this somewhere else, but I'm just going to do it here too. If you want, click here on your three dots. You'll see here's where you put your line spacing in. So if you want it single, 1.15, double, 1.5 space before paragraph space. This is where you change your spacing for your text if you need to. I think a lot of times that 1.15 looks pretty solid, but you might need more just depending on, filling the space. If you want to make numbered lists, here's how you do it. If you want to make bulleted lists, here's how you do it. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. This is totally not necessary, but the font size is 24 right now. That makes this dot 24. It drives me crazy. I almost always click on the dots and it will highlight them all and change the size of something smaller because it just looks better, right? It does. You agree? Okay. All right. Next suggestion. Don't fill text boxes with color, right? Don't fill text boxes with color. Leave them transparent. You don't have that many options for text. I mean, we'll look at word art in a second, but you don't have that many options as to what to do with your text and slides. One of the nice things it does do, I'm going to change it to a color so you can see it a little bit better, is if we go to format options again, just like when we added the drop shadow to the shape, we can actually do that to our text. And you'll see as I back this transparency out, it's really going to make this slide pop a little bit. Yeah, it looks all right. Okay. So far, so good. Let's see if there's anything I forgot. Oh yeah, word art. I don't really use it that much. There's not really any reason not to. I just don't. But word art, I do know why. You have to stretch the image instead of just resizing it, like punching a font size in it. It annoys the crap out of me. Here, let's do this. Word art is kind of annoying. Okay. So then it drops it in automatically with a border, usually an Arial. We're going to go back to our accent font just because we can. I'm going to use this purple and I'm going to make the border a little bit thicker. I'm going to fill it with this pink. Okay, see what happens? Like you have to stretch it and then you're just like stretching it to figure out how to make it look right. Whereas if you were just resizing it, it would just be the right ratios or whatever. See, it looks kind of trashy, and I don't really know how to fix it. That looks better, but still not great. That's better. Anyway, it's there. It works. It gives you, I mean, at least allows you to put a border around your letters, which doesn't suck. Here, let's do this for fun. I'll do this green that's in the background as a drop shadow. And we'll make it kind of solid-y. All the way solid. Okay. Just so we don't have a bunch of negative space here. And we're going to change that back to whatever size it was. Oh, nope. Nope. One more time, I've got this. Nailed it. Okay, let's look at it. All right. I build most of my text on top of shapes, just inserting rectangles. Drop shadows will give your slide a little depth. Try to respect your invisible borders, like we've created a border around the outside with our shapes. And we've also respected our invisible borders inside of our shapes in regards to how far our text can go over. You can even see here that I could have done a little bit better of a job, but I've done a fine job. Bullets, numbering are there when you hit the three dots when you're on your text. Try to limit yourself to, just a couple fonts if you can handle it. Other than that, word art is not that cool, but it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody.